I'm calling this to order. Do I have a motion on the minutes?
I move that we accept them.
Second? Frank seconded. I'm an aye. David, the minutes okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Lynn? Frank? Marilyn? We're all aye. Okay. Now we're ready for Money Honey, the library data and financial report.
Okay, there's gonna be two sheets if you look through your things, and we're sorry we didn't get this to you earlier. They were running short staffed at City Hall, and also I had staff members gone, but, so I included the actual financial statement sheet, which is a really small print, and this is what we actually get from the city, is one of the pages that we do. And, then Yvonne very quickly this morning went ahead and filled in the slots that we didn't have the paperwork for before. So you have kind of your standard financial one, and then kind of the one we get from the city. I think things within our budget, as far as looking at it, everything's looking good. The city is wanting us to be very conservative as far as not making purchases of something that we don't need immediately at the time, and we kind of operate that way anyway, and so I think we're going to be fine there, and we're going to be a little bit of money that's left over in our budget from the roofing project, which we'll discuss a little bit later. So, does anybody have any? Everybody's just kind of short notice. Did you want to take time to look over the sheet, or is it pretty self-explanatory?
No, let's look at it a second here.
Okay.
Let's see, what we actually need to look at is the current period part, the second column, correct?
Right.
In this newer format.
Yes. Yeah, this is the one from the city that you're looking at.
Those utilities are galloping right along, aren't they?
Yes.
But we have to make it through April, May, and June, don't we?
That, it will probably be kind of close on the utilities. They have some other funds that usually that is an account that we usually, I usually don't budget enough in that account. That's an account that we do not budget. The city budgets that, and I think they kind of have an amount that they balance across all their different buildings, all their different entities.
What was that infrastructure thing?
Okay. The infrastructure is actually the one at the very bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually our book budget. They choose to call that infrastructure. And, the number is going down there. Of course, that's a typical thing for us because we have some other funding sources. Some of our state aid money is used always for a quarter or two. So, the amount that is left in the account at this point in time, the $579, is kind of what is, would be about one of the monthly book orders that we make.
Mm-hmm. And the 3,500 in maintenance?
Okay.
Right in the
This is
middle.
where you're looking. Right, that's probably pretty much. Okay, that was what, for the current period,
Mhm.
right. That's just basically because they paid some, like our, water bill,
Okay.
and, those type of things is basically what's in that. We had to replace a motor, and then they had to replace some.
Is this a new format or something? Or just that one?
Well, that is just
So
it's
small.
well, that, like I said, this is the one that came from the city. This is
Oh, I
our
see.
actual, and that's why Ivana comes in and that tries to do a different financial sheet for you guys, because this is like what we get, and then we get 3 or 4 pages from the city every month that, actually shows when we mark out our books the actual check by PO payment by PO payment. So yeah, that's why it is so small. That's why we go ahead and kind of put it into this format here and knock out some of the extra things.
So this
Makes it a
is,
little easier to see.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else? I would look at the one I'm used to looking at, it helps me. Okay.
Yeah, that was a little bit smaller. Okay, and the next thing we're gonna look at here is our statistical report. And we can take just a minute, let you kind of glance at it if you'd like to, since we didn't get it to you. As you're looking at it, we have had quite a increase or jump in our book or material checkout, both in our adults and our juvenile. So, that was, spring was back and good weather and also a little bit longer month, type of situation. So we knew it had some, we didn't really have an idea that it was going to be that much bigger. If you come down to the category, another category is a little bit larger again in our lost and destroyed materials. Our youth department has started going through some of their older nonfiction books, and then also we have had to, for space-wise, we are very much weeding out our VCR tape collection. Because one of the last libraries that offered those, and so they pick up a lot of space and everything, so we're weeding through those and getting rid of, and only keeping some things that are very unique to our area that we cannot replace at this point in time on DVD. So.
That's what I'm talking about, the tapes.
Right, there's just not that many people now that are coming in. Our checkout on them is very slight on those.
I'm surprised there's any.
They don't have the.
You're gonna put them aside, say we have a book sale or something?
Yeah, that's what we do, we didn't
Stick
toss
there
that.
first and I go
Yeah.
through there and, well, I'm supposed to give you some of those. I have a whole load of them.
Well,
All
she's
the-
trying to get rid of them, David.
They're good stuff. This is all like the literary classics
Right.
and,
When we have
really a
our
good
book sale,
collection.
we wanted to get rid of it. It's
I
just
have
a lot of
junk.
people don't have the players anymore. that
That's
play
right.
those tapes. So that's the reason that number is a little bit larger again. And other than that, we have had, our meeting rooms are getting very popular again, and which is good. We like that when people come in and want to have a little meetings here, so it's been good. So, I don't know if there's any questions as far as our statistical report or comment.
Anybody?
I'll just eliminate that one thing.
Okay, let's move on then. We probably don't have a city council report, do we, no, Steve?
We do not have that.
Okay, so we will just move on by. Down to the proposed budget, that's a stapled thing there, it was at the bottom of your stack,
Okay,
the
and-
stapled thing.
They wanted it turned in by the 1st of April. We kind of here at the library had held off a little bit because we were kind of wanting to see if we could find out for sure kind of what the situation was with the roof. And, that's still kind of in that process, so we went ahead and put together the budget, and I appreciate, Lynn and Minnie being willing to meet with me and work with that as far as the committee on that. Basically what we did was I moved some money around into some different categories where we saw some different needs. There's kind of two different sheets here that I had included because one was kind of an explanation sheet and then one was the actual numbers. We do know the city revenues are going down. There's no doubt about that. So what we did was we came in with a budget that was basically asking for the same dollar amount as what we had received last year, but knowing that that way if they need to do an across the board cut, they could do that. But we did just come in with the same basic budget amount. But we had just changed a few categories as far as we definitely this year did not use all of our travel and training funds that had been given to us and will not in the future just because we can do a lot of things online now. And also the city has purchased a vehicle now that I took it to Woodward, Mandy and Yvonne, and they also were able to take the city vehicle. And so that cuts way down on the money that has to be funded out of our account for mileage, which was a big thing for us out of that account. So that's nice to be able to have that vehicle available. I mean, some other department may need it difference also for the city, in how much they have to pay out. The procedure that the city uses is like it's been the last 2 or 3 years, and that's what, if there were any changes I made, even no matter how small, then you have forms you have to fill out. And that's fine. Each year the forms have gotten a little bit smaller, last few have to fill out, which is good from my point of view. But, that's what we get on. Well, we're kind of just stabilizing where we are right now. We're not changing things. And, so, anyway, but those are my explanations, my detailed explanations of why, if I ask money to be funded from one place to another, of why we did it that way. So,
I find these explanations helpful of what's changed and why. And I can see from a council person's or a city person's point of view that helps explain the process and the activities that are actually happening here. Because, bless them, a lot of them don't really understand what it is you do here.
well, it's really hard when you start looking at numbers as far as, there are many things for us, and I imagine probably a couple of the other departments for the city, that the kind of budget form that is used, or the line items that are used, it's not a clear picture for us on where something should come out of it, as much as it may be another one of the entities, like the Public Works or whatever. Theirs is pretty set on the line items, and they can add line items in, but you don't want to get, so many that it just becomes a mess. So for us, it's good to be able to explain why we're taking something specifically out of something.
So this has to be finished by when?
The preliminary one went in April 1st, but it will now go through a process. So if there's something that you see in here, something you don't agree with, something you have a concern about, I can take that to him, because it's not the finalized one. So if there's something there, please, I would appreciate the input. I should have, in hindsight, and what I'll probably try to do next year, because I ran into this problem, me trying to have the budget available for the March meeting is almost impossible. That's just not far enough into our year to know how things fell out. So, next year we may consider trying to hold either a special meeting toward the end of the month or whatever of the month of March, to where then we could bring it to the whole board. But like I said, I can make changes, so if you have some comments or questions, I'd like to do that.
We could either hold a special meeting or we could just move the meeting.
Right.
I appreciate your efforts, and I find this budget stuff alien but interesting.
Yes,
Well, that's it, man.
there is a whole lot to
Like,
keep
really is.
balanced and to keep going. As Sandra, you do a really nice job, both with it and with explaining it.
I just want the roof done.
Please, let's just get some repairs. Well, I think, are we finished? Anybody have any comments on the budget anymore?
Or email me, give me a call, if there's any adjustments or something that you feel like we haven't addressed.
Okay, well, speaking of the roof, Lenny,
Okay, I talked to Joe Don yesterday, and it is still in process. He still firmly feels that it is his desire, and what he is pushing for is that the new roof will be on the building by June the 30th of this year.
hallelujah.
He is determined that that is going to happen, or that is his goal, that he's pushing for. The situation that has arisen is with the bids that came in, there was a large difference in the bidding process. And that comes about probably from several different factors. Part of it is distance. for companies that bid of having to travel in and everything else. But what they are in the process of doing right now is the council, from what I understand, has two options. At the next meeting, they will either probably decide with the recommendations of the Building and Parks Committee to either go ahead and accept one of the bids, or they will decide to not accept any of them. And the reason for that is because they're getting within that time frame. That doesn't mean that then they wouldn't turn around and go back to those companies immediately and say, will you extend that bid? But it has to be done, that bid when it's turned in has to be acted upon within a certain amount of time. The difference is they're talking possibly a difference of anywhere up to around $50,000. It basically
much?
is $50,000 discrepancy. Yeah. So what the situation is roofers for commercial buildings now have to be licensed through the state of Oklahoma. They changed that last year. And, one of the bidders thought he was certified because he had started going through the process and had passed the first test. I guess there's a second portion to the test, and that has to be taken 30 days after you pass the first one, not within a 30-day time frame, but 30 days after you take it. So they're in that process because for the city to be able to save that amount of money, we can get a donation. So,
So basically, if this guy passes the test, he's got the bid.
probably, I don't know, I mean, possibly.
That would be motivation to study.
Possibly, I mean, they're still looking at a lot of different factors because they were looking and making sure that all the bids were using the same kind of materials, you know, because when you put a bid in, they can write and say, this is what we're gonna do, but the Parks and Building, you know, they're not builders themselves, and so they want to be able to research and make sure, okay, that product is as good as that product, it's got a different name.
How many different bids did you
There
get?
were 5 bids
Five total?
that I believe were turned on.
And the guy that is trying to pass the exam had the lowest bid, is what you're saying?
That was going to, from what I understand, because I didn't actually see the bids. From what I understand, had a much more competitive bid, and for the type of roof they wanted on. There were some bids that were submitted that, what they wanted to do, the council thought was going to be more just a quick fix.
Right.
Was not going to be a long term. And they were wanting guarantees of like 15 to 20 years at least on the roof.
Are they going over the top?
They are not going over the top. None of the companies chose to even submit a bid for I don't know. I'm assuming over the top you mean if they're raising it.
No, I mean, are they just gonna slap
No.
something on top?
No, and that is what the difference was, that it will be taken down to the, they say the middle.
The structure.
So anyway, it will be taken down, the old will be cleaned off and then it will go on.
They start this in June, it starts in June, how long would
They
it
want it
take?
finished by June. I guess with the type, I mean, I don't understand, but it makes sense, because my concern was rain. If you get rain,
We
you have
won't
to
get
take
any
the roof
rain
off.
until
I
then.
hope we don't get
Snow
any.
maybe, but not rain.
But I guess once they get started on the project, once they get the big thing is getting all the materials shipped in to do it. And I guess on a roof of this type, the minute they start doing it, it's only a matter of days before they would have it stripped and put back on. It's a very quick process.
So they need all of their stuff here on site before they even get started.
Okay. Was there anything included in the bid that once they have the roof torn down, they might replace some of the rusted drain pipes?
Well, not to my knowledge, but I think that the drain pipes are kind of a different issue, because those drain pipes are all actually under the roof. They wouldn't be actually going down into the space between the top and our ceiling. hopefully since I ran those cameras down, they are correct, that the drain pipes are no issue. I think the basic problem is due to the roof being the way it is, and it was a tar roof from what I understand, and so there's a lot of weight on this roof. Because for years they just kept putting stuff back on it. And then what happens is that tar has settled differently, and so when those drain pipes were located, some of them were not draining correctly because the buildup of the materials on it has kept it from water being able to flow where it needs to.
Assuming they understand how to make that happen.
I mean, all of the companies that the city are looking at are in very good standing with the state of Alva. I mean, they all have very good reputation. From what I understand, I'm just kind of here this stuff, I'm not part of that committee, they just kind of try to let me know. That's what Sheriff called me yesterday and said he wanted, and he said, can you explain this to the board? He was thinking you guys were concerned. And, I said, I thought that all of us understood, and all of the library supporters understood that it's not necessarily a quick thing. To me, we can get it in by the end of June. That's a quick fix. That was much more than what I was ever assuming when they started this process.
Well, I can understand that it won't take them long once they get started to peel that stuff off of there, because I have seen them up on school roads, and they have some kind of grinder thing, much like you see on the streets where they grind the asphalt off the street. It makes a horrible noise, and be prepared for dust of infinite proportions, because it will rattle
They
it
were
all.
doing that in front of my house today, and now when they get down here, and I went out and got the guy, the noise with the
Oh.
street.
And on the roof, it just vibrates like a drum
And
hit.
he was, of course, wearing earplugs naturally, but right in front of my driveway, I said, can I get out in the next 15 minutes? It was going awfully slow, I was just moving right along, and he said, oh yeah, we'll be out there. I thought, okay, I don't want to drive over my lawn and your lawn.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I don't really know the logistics of that. I mean, because that's what we had talked about. We didn't know if you know. I would imagine for liability purposes of patrons coming in that we would need to be close during the time.
I would
they're
bet
doing
so.
that. Because in here it may just be loud, but I would think that
Mhm. Yeah,
Computers and that.
you might ask about, some of that really thin painter's film, but, drop cloth stuff because at school, I mean, a roof like this, you would not believe how much stuff danced down out of that because of the vibration. Were you in school, Leslie, when they did all that roof peeling? Or was
Yeah.
that after?
I think it's okay.
And the noise was just unbelievable. Okay, thank you for that, and tell Joe Don we think we understand. And we are looking forward to June.
No, July 1st.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch. So we're ready for the chocolate fantasy.
The Friends of the Library held a chocolate fantasy last Tuesday for us, and it was a fun evening again. We did run into some conflicts as far as finding out that probably Tuesday night was not necessarily the best night for it, but that realistically that was the only day that they really could schedule for it. And so the community came out in force again. We were very, very pleased. I do not know final figures because there's probably been some donations that have come in, but they contacted me the next day and said that they had raised $8,700. So that was with the downturn in the economy and all the other things going on, all the fires in town that I know a lot of people were generous helping people with. We were very, very pleasantly surprised.
And money-wise, that's pretty well on par with what they've been doing.
It
it not?
is, it's very, very pleasant. And we had some new, it's always nice, we had some new people. I think it's good moving it away from the Monday night, because every year we kind of gain some new people and that type of thing. So very, very pleased, and we certainly appreciate all the work that our friends do for us, because it's quite an endeavor that they do. So we'll be looking at some things. They had expressed an interest in us targeting a main project, and we've actually put that in the budget. If you read through the budget things that they had asked me, they knew that doing a library renovation, we had some projects planned, and that renovation now is going to be a step-by-step renovation now, probably instead of what we were wanting of an overall renovation. And so they are interested in possibly funding the big fans, the installation of those, like that they have at the high school and the middle school, which would be a wonderful gift to the librarian, the patron of the library, for the comfort level. I think that would really help us with their movement.
That's terrific.
So they were looking for some specific things like that they could definitely help us with.
Well, it's easier to raise money when you say, help us buy a thing.
Right.
Rather than just give me money.
Right, and we do try to make sure that they do specific projects.
Cool.
I always find it interesting because I attended when the pies went for $300 or $350.
Did they have any bidding wars?
I think there probably were. I tell people that, I don't ever get to go down for it because somebody has to stay and man the desk. And, I have staff members that really enjoy it and really kind of help with some things, and so that's kind of the treat for them, is that I'm up here watching the door as people go in and out. So I hear things going on. I don't know if we got into quite as many bidding
There was
wars
a
this year.
couple.
There were a couple.
There were a couple.
Was that
Yeah.
cake or pie?
Hmm?
Was it cake or pie?
The $350, I think, was a
It
pie.
was probably a pie.
It was either chocolate meringue or lemon meringue. And I think it was, I always know her as Mrs. Martin. Shelley?
Yeah.
Yes.
so,
Yeah, Shelley Martin.
mhm.
David and Mike's mother.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there are some people that are kind of well known for, making things that they only make here for church dinners, and they won't give out their recipes. So people are always wanting to buy those. And we had an interesting situation this year, which we really liked, in that we have, a number of people donating things that were not chocolate. And that's something we had kind of wanted through the years, and it's kind of grown a little bit more. And so there was like some homemade salsa that was brought in, and there was like some, so that it was really nice to me from what I could hear with the auctioning, because you did, like you said, you had some things that went for the high prices, but then you also had things that were affordable for somebody to buy that wanted to just participate.
There was a chocolate Monopoly set, a gluten-free cookbook, and of course the salsa. And I don't know if it's for human use or not, but it's some kind of dog treats, chocolate dog treats, or
Probably not chocolate dog
No,
treats,
no,
because
no,
dogs
no,
should not eat
no,
chocolate.
That's what
It
I
was,
thought.
they probably just call it like a puppy.
My dog almost
Puppy
Well, there-
A puppy chow.
There is a thing called puppy chow, which is actually Chex Mix with
Oh.
powdered sugar and cocoa and stuff on it, and it looks like puppy chow, but it's marvelously chocolatey wonderful, so. And it's super easy to do, too.
I'm going to go get Mandy real quick, pretty much. She's going to get ready for it.
Okay. Lenny, did Bella Dunnigan bring that, it's a chocolate caramel cheesecake. It's a chocolate turtle cheesecake.
No, not that I
It
remember. There was
is-
one cheesecake in it that doesn't sound like the description they gave.
Oh, this stuff is, there's the chocolate cookie crumble crust, and then there's a layer of caramel melted on top of that, and then you've got the chocolate cheesecake, and it's got like chocolate chips in it, and fudgy stuff is drizzled on the top of that, and it's truly death
You
by
need to
chocolate.
be
Oh,
a
God. What
chocoholic.
about like death
Oh,
bed? I'm
but
gonna
it
ask
is,
for that, rather death bed. Rather than call a priest, call the guy, give me some of that.
Yeah, right at the last, let me eat some of this.
Is that going to be
That sounds good.
Earl always says he's gonna go for the lemon
Okay.
bar. All right, Mandy.
Alright, do you want the long, funny version or the short, down to business version?
How about half and half?
Half and half. Okay. Alright, here I am discussing 2016 OLA that I and Ivana went to. On Thursday, I went to, it was in Tulsa at the Hyatt Hotel. On On Thursday, I went to my first class, Stop Driving Your Boss Crazy. And some of the keynotes was that, know your boss, know their priorities, what they expect of you and stuff. And they gave good advice like take initiative, but only if you can do quality work. And don't do extra until you learn your job. In the discussion time, several librarians were dealing with workers who thought they could do someone else's job better. Or someone came to a boss for every problem, or workers were breaking the chain of command and going over people's heads. So those were the main problems that libraries were finding.
I'm
And
assuming Sandra did not sign you up for that one.
no, I chose to go to that one.
They choose to
They
go, which is
pick their
good,
Yeah.
which is good. And I kind of, one of the reasons I want to do it, because I like what Mandy's doing, I kind of wanted you guys to understand when we go to conferences, you know, most of you have gone to business conferences, but ours are a little bit different, because like Mandy said, it's our chance to actually be able to network and actually get ideas from other libraries, so, anyway, okay.
Yeah, okay. And then my second class was Communicate with Confidence. And our speaker spoke well. She actually used, or you can see the example she used back a couple of slides ago. She just did that. That's awesome. And so, I learned to communicate a little better, which I hope I am conveying in this speech. And so, yeah. And we went to lunch where we heard the author Kasia Persinian talk about her book, The Unraveling of Mercy Lewis. It was a nice lunch. Then in class 3, we went to Meeting Teens Where They Are. And it had 2 librarians from different libraries, and they had teen groups who did fandoms, which is, you know, like Doctor Who, Harry Potter. So they'd have a time where the kids could come together, do crafts that pertain to that, and talk about whatever they loved. And for the adult programmer, they did a fandom for Downtown Abbey that was super popular. And so we got a lot of snack and craft ideas for that stuff. Then we had a small break. Yay! Onward to class 4, which was Comic Books as Folklore. And I believe he was a college professor and not a librarian, but he gave parallels between comic book people and the mythologies, like Hercules and them. It wasn't really something you could apply to the library, but it was an interesting class. So, and then it was evening, 6:30, ready for the lip sync battle. It was awesome.
Lip sync?
Yep.
Karaoke?
Yes, that too.
You librarians are wild and crazy.
Yeah. There was a competition between 5 libraries.
The image, I tell you that.
Yeah. The first group did Shake It by Taylor Swift. And then the second person dressed up as the Cat in Hat and did What's Up Pussycat. I thought she should have won. And the third one was a quartet, and I think they did something from a musical. I didn't know what it was, but they lip synced good, and they won everything. And then we had Dolly Parton and the Coat of Many Colors. And then finally the last group did Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And they raised money by, you could nominate someone to karaoke, $10. And if you want, you had to either karaoke or pay $10 to get out of it. So we raised the most money ever recorded since we started doing this. And
By
so
people paying to not do it.
not do it. And so that was.
Resist not doing that.
I think some people did pay so they could karaoke. So. And then, so that was Thursday. At 7:30 a.m. on Friday, we went to the class from series, Ivana and I both went to this one, from series to singles, and a school librarian, usually kids read this whole series, and then they're like, I want to read something similar to that, and we're like, ooh. But she gave some suggestions of single books and not like a whole series, and so that was really, really helpful, and we got like the whole list and stuff, and so I was like, yes. That was a very helpful class. And
Was that aimed at teens and preteens, or were there some adult things too?
it was just juvenile kids.
Juvenile
Sorry. Yeah. And the last class I went to was Turning the Light on Dark Literature, which was presented by the author Sonia Gensler. And she talked about different varieties of Gothic literature and had a list of genres, and then under each one, classic, young adults, and then graphic novels. And so actually got me excited about it, and so now I'm thinking about trying a Gothic book. So that was my OLA experience.
And there's like probably, like, Ivana went to some different workshops.
Yeah,
and
she went
some,
to
they went to
different.
some same ones, but they have a choice of probably about six, maybe 6 different classes. So it's very beneficial to us for our staff members to get to go. And they did find out, I had talked to some other library directors I knew, and a lot of library directors have faced a lot of budget cuts last year. And a lot of them did not get to send staff members to the conference, and they said they kind of were hearing that the same way. So that's kind of one of our goals, that we will always have some of our staff going, because it does give us a fresh perspective and kind of rejuvenates. And I'm excited. I haven't had time to maybe wanted to tell the rest of us really what the classes and how we can put them into our goals. So
How big are the classes?
They have
Ish.
room. Well, some of the classrooms were different size, but it was either up to 30 to 50 people. That's what they have room for. It depends who shows up.
Mhm.
So
When did this meet?
when did this? It was last week. And
No, where?
where? In Tulsa.
At Tulsa? At
Uh-huh.
the University of Tulsa?
No, at the Hyatt Hotel.
Oh, then it's
Yeah.
they
Did you
try
get to
find-
stay in the Hyatt?
Yeah.
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 Now they try to find a venue that has enough meeting rooms that they can just keep
that's
everybody.
like.
Yeah.
Everybody there, because it is pretty intense. And I mean, like, you can go from like 7 o'clock in the morning to about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and they try to at night have the fun things, but they're usually fundraisers.
Yeah.
For karaoke. Mandy one year did the hat contest for
Yeah.
the library. So.
Larry had a hat and he didn't want to model it. I don't know why, but he's like, you model it. I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah.
That sounds like fun. That's actually good. Boy, I haven't been to a conference in years.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and you come back enthused.
Yes. Gonna
And,
do stuff. Yes.
and the idea
And then it
that,
dies.
that most excites you would be which one?
It would the meeting. Which one? I've already looked at the Gothic books. Can't apply. Well, no, I can't apply. Stop driving your boss crazy.
I bet you could a little.
Yeah, a little. Meeting teens where they are is probably the one we can apply the most. We thought, or Yvonne and I sort of thought maybe a quarterly thing, and the other librarians had talked how they might do a Harry Potter thing before the movie, whatever, the Magical Beasts ones comes out, and so we'll see if we can do it. So yeah, that's the one I'm most excited.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it.
That was time
And
well
have
spent.
useful things.
Yeah,
It's good to go and get. Consider the
I made him
karaoke
leave
next
a little early because I was a little concerned about the weather. So.
And then we got there just in time for the
For the
tornadoes.
There was
Yay.
just something about them driving the city car through hail, decided of safety. It was not, I didn't feel like the library to be the first one.
Got it so
Something to
damaged.
the new city car.
And it was a nice car.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thank you, man.
Mandy,
Yeah.
help yourself over there and send Ivy in.
It's good, the fruits are fantastic.
Take one of the chocolate covered things in the middle.
That's the one
Just
one I
force
passed
yourself.
up, that's the
You
only
will
one.
not regret
Damn, they
that.
crush your hands eating stuff. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for sharing that with us.
Okay, programming for April.
Okay, we are next Monday on April the 11th. We are hosting the author with the book The Nicest Nazi. We're going to be at 7 o'clock. We're getting ads put in the paper and we'll get a newspaper article in.
people that have signed up their emails for like notice of overdue books, of sending a notice to them?
Okay, we thought about sending the notice, we can't really do it off of that computer system, but we can send, we did have the chocolate fantasy, we did pass around the sheets for people that were interested in the newsletter or to be contacted with members of the Friends. And so we're probably gonna send out just a little thing to them about the fact of that. So,
Do we have a Facebook presence?
yes, we do, and it is on already on there. And then also on April the 28th is when we have a professor from the college that is going to be coming and presenting a program from To Kill a Mockingbird, but he does it from a historical perspective of what life was really like at that time and how the historical aspects play into like writing and things like that. He's very much into the American literature, so we're excited because it's different than just a book talk. It's so it should be an interesting evening also. And so we're sponsoring both of those programs kind of in conjunction with our Friends group.
And those are 7 o'clock?
Those are 7 o'clock, and the one is on Monday night on the 11th. The other one for the professor, it was better for us to do it on a Thursday, so it's on the 28th, and that's something a little different, but we've had good luck with doing programs on nights we are not open, excuse me. But it's just that we can't schedule too many with the staff. I've got staff here, and that messes with our staff and hours for that month if we get too many things that come in
Yeah.
afterwards.
Scheduling nightmare.
So, that they're always pleased to work, but that means they need to call time off, and so that's what I run into problems because then it's like, how do people speak to me if they're not running short?
If I use them here, when can I do without them?
And they were gone last week for 3 days, and we don't want to have that happen very often. Well,
You
take
know
me a
what they
while
do
to
now, don't
catch
you?
up. Yeah, I know what they do, but then I didn't get my stuff done, so
Yeah,
I get kind of,
especially when the
territorial
budget
now.
was due.
yeah. So, and then our traditional program that we do, the mommy and me programs are still going on, the kids' activity days are still going on. And, Mandy has finished her MacGyver time, that program that she does for 4th and 5th graders has been completed for the year, so.
How did that go?
MacGyver time always goes well, the kids enjoy it. A lot of it depends on the mix of the kids, and the mix of the kids this year were a little challenging to try, because it's more of a science-based program. It's not just kind of a fun day, it's actually where you're building and doing things. And she had a little more of a challenge this year of trying to keep some kids on track. And it was interesting because the other kids didn't like it very well, that some of them could not really stay on, or some of them I think chose not to stay on task. But anyway, so she ended up 1 month early and she reevaluated it. The activity day has kind of helped kind of fill us in gaps. We do some things with Legos and things then. And so she's kind of evaluating if she's going to skip a year with that program before she starts at math again.
Do you limit the size of the groups? That makes a difference when you have distracting
We have
students.
we've always said that we're not going to go above 12 in that group. And with that, we figured we would need to add somebody else in with 4th and 5th graders. And it really kind of falls out, but that's just always where her enrollment numbers are. She usually has about 12 kids enrolled in it. They do have to sign up, and the parents have to sign papers for it. But usually she's working with about 8 kids, between scheduling.
Getting all 12 to show up all the time.
So, and we may start looking at just doing maybe some special things like what she was talking, instead of trying to do something with a monthly program, maybe 4 times a year. Even maybe a Saturday or Saturday afternoon, have something special that would kind of fit within that realm, and have it something that kids can sign up for, providing that activity. So that's kind of our programming for April.
All right. And we're ready for DVD storage.
Okay, we purchased we were exploring options for our DVD storage to free up some space, and we had really wanted to get what was called a media wall. started looking at it because that's what we had planned for our renovations. And, that's kind of a big investment, so we decided maybe we should back off a little bit, and we've actually found some DVD storage cases. They're more like bookshelves that are made for DVDs. And we're going to, we purchase those, and, we're going to put them in the area where we think we wanted that media wall. That'll kind of be our trial, to see does this work here, you know, is this an option? And so we're kind of excited about that. The staff is eager to put them together, but I want to wait for our city helpers because they have the electric, you know, things to screw in all the screws. And, so we're just waiting for them to get there and we'll do that. So, next time you come in, the wire racks will probably be going in the middle of the library, which I think will open up our space and with a touch area. And we may put a book display in there, or maybe move another table in. With a lot of people coming in and just sitting at tables and doing work, so we may need a seating area in that space. And then we got the 2 new computers that were for Mandy and I. And so far they're working out fine. I just got mine last Friday because we didn't let them bring them in at the same time because they would transfer all the data. Which isn't a big deal except, you know, to do that I lose all my little home pages and everything like that. So I'm still getting that, put that on my computer. But those computers were old and were starting to have some problems. So we've now ordered also 2 additional computers, which will replace the computers we use at the front desk. Those computers are both 6 years old, and so they're starting to have some
They
issues.
get a lot of use.
Yeah, and we knew this year we had state aid money that we could use. We used state aid money for that. And we had that state aid money, and with what the condition is for the state of Oklahoma, who knows if that state aid money will be there next year. And this way we feel like we will for the next 2 or 3 years have enough good working order computers that if we don't have the funding to do anymore, we can kind of rearrange.
Good.
So,
And I'm glad you got the staff ones updated
so,
before the crunch really hits.
right. So, that's kind of all we have in that area.
All right, is there anything left for your director's report?
The only thing left in the director's report that came about after I did this is for several years, if any of you have been here in the library very much, you know that sometimes our elevator doors are not real cooperative. And Lenny's been in here, and they will sit there and they will not want to go shut. It's never been a factor that we've had to worry about people getting caught in the elevator. It's just that the doors will hit a point with the electrical beams, and we've worked with the company for about 5 years. I've been trying to come in and do the things with them and whatever else, and it's happening more frequently now. And so I asked them for a bid, and they came back with a bid because they can't replace the technology that's on the doors, they're old. So they'll be coming in with it's a single bar that's on the door, just the door itself. It won't have to be on the different levels, it's just on the main door. Should keep the door open all the time. There should be none of it coming in on a person. Like now, a door can come in and can bang your arm. But that's kind of pricey. It's $4,400. And I went and talked to Joe Don about it, and he really felt that that was a safety factor. And was probably kind of surprised that we had not replaced it before. And I said, well, the elevator company, they just kept telling us, well, you know, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. So anyway, we do have some paperwork for that. We have encumbered that money now out of our maintenance department. So out of our maintenance, between that and the keeping of the janitorial services, that pretty much puts us on target for that money that was left in the maintenance account for this year.
The lawsuit where you squash somebody in the doors, if you don't fix them, is probably gonna cost a lot more than $4,400
Well,
to
and
actually fix them.
our concern that I have gotten to was the fact that, if they did that and we had someone up on our balcony level that couldn't use stairs, I mean, I don't mean because of the fire, you wouldn't be using the elevators anyway in terms of
Mhm.
fire. But if you have someone that's older or having trouble walking or whatever, just use the elevator to get upstairs. Having to wait 10 minutes to finally get that door to where it would close, or if you had a mother with a child in a stroller downstairs, just was not a good situation, service-wise, PR-wise, or anything else,
Mhm.
but, I think that's why the elevator, company itself had never really kind of pushed it, was because they knew it wasn't going to be a safety liability issue.
Mhm.
It wasn't going to hurt, it was an inconvenience kind of.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're getting it actually fixed. I'm a big believer in just fix it and.
I just hate, an elevator alone.
Because if something happens, you know,
A couple of experiences where the thing, I couldn't figure out how to get out. And the building's I get panicky and I start freaking out.
punch every button.
Push
doesn't
everything
help.
back, push something, make something happen. I hate those things.
Okay, comments, anybody? Yes, no? Well, thank you, Lenny, for the good, healthy goodies. We appreciate it. And your gorgeous presentation on them. And thank you, Sandra, for all the work. You've had a month.
It's been, I'm kind of glad March is over.
You've had a tough month.
It's good to be busy, but I feel like
There is a limit.
Well,
I
organization
was
went
putting
out the
snacks,
window.
but I can see that as much
Well, I
carbs
appreciate
for
your
that,
work.
for that stuff that I had
All right,
for my
we're
breakfast.
adjourned. Thanks.